the nickname when I started in real estate.
Jesus.
So I got it through real estate.
My name is worse. My name is Estelver. So she can't say yours, then
yeah.
I have no chance on this.
Yeah, good luck.
Exactly.
Yeah, so she changed my name. But it stuck. And I noticed that people would be afraid of doing business with me because they couldn't say my name properly.
Oh my God.
So they wouldn't even want to talk to me. And I'm just like, I'm not going to lose business over my freaking name. Like,
yeah.
And then I'm just like, just call me Kiki. Like, it's what they're already calling me at work anyways. And might as well just give it everybody.
You know, it's funny. I have a million last names.
I have Keisha Lopez, but only in, and then I have like multiple, my dad's and my mom, my grandma, whatever.
Yeah.
But we only go by Keisha Liz is what it is.
I have Esty E. Most people call me Mello because my name is Estelver Carmelo.
Okay.
So everybody just goes with.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, everybody just goes to that. But yeah, when I go to like school, all the teachers was trying to say my name, and they was just like, "Can we just come up with every teacher had a different
really a nickname?
Yeah. It was like, do you mind? I'm like, I don't mind at this point.
Yeah, just get.
You can't
something.
say it. I don't care. just say my last name, and that's good.
That's the funny part though. When I was in middle school, they would call me Keishla, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it is what it is. And then I went to Florida for a year for 7th grade, and some people would know how to say my name correctly. So then when I came back to Massachusetts, I started correcting people on how to say it. So they were like, oh, you changed your name? I'm like, no, you just didn't say it right.
This has been it the whole time. What are you anyway? What?
Boricua.
Right down Dominican. So neighbors. Okay. Yeah, Keishla. That's not hard for it. How do you say it in Spanish? Do you know how to say it?
It's Keishla Quiles.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Quiles, very typical Puerto Rican last name.
Yep.
I had a few Puerto Ricans friends with that last name.
Yeah, I haven't met anybody else with it.
Yeah,
Growing up, I was the only Quiles anywhere.
There's a guy in Lowell. Name is Miguel. I don't know if he still lives here. That was in middle school, so maybe he moved.
Yeah.
But yeah, small world. What middle school did you go to?
I went to City Magnet.
Okay, yeah, no.
In Lowell.
Different side of town.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't. That one I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't
Lowell.
go to that one.
I used to live in. I used to go to the Varnum. That was elementary.
So you've been around here your whole life, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except for when you went to Miami.
Florida, yeah. Orlando was the one year we stayed in Orlando.
You been to Puerto Rico?
I was born there.
Okay. So
yeah.
How old were you when you came?
3. I came back.
Yeah, you don't remember. But you gone after?
Oh yeah. We try to go all the
time.
You
got family.
Yeah,
still
my
close?
whole dad's side's over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like when they tell me they've never gone, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm like fiending to go back right now. I'm looking at people on Instagram and stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous.
How long has it been since you gone back?
2 years. So not too long.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
So I try to take the kids every year, and we flip it from Florida to Puerto Rico back and forth. So
that's not bad.
Last year we were in Florida.
It's been like 10 years for me in Puerto Rico.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah, I haven't been.
So sad now.
Yeah, nah, it'll get better. I think it's gonna get better now. Yeah, there's a lot of interest over there. Have you? Let's introduce it. We kind of just going. Yeah. So welcome to EDJ Studios. This is the EDJ podcast, and today we have a special guest and also the first girl in the podcast. Say hello to everybody, please.
Hello, thank you.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Keisha Liz, but most people call me Kiki, and I'm happy to be here.
Perfect. And what do you do?
I am a real estate agent.
Real estate, very
crazy
hectic
business.
time.
Yes.
It's always hectic and it's always a crazy business, like you say, but especially right now. That's why I wanted to have you in, because I have a few questions for myself.
Okay, perfect.
But we could get into all that later. But I just, since you are into real estate, have you like looked at Puerto Rico?
That is on
sense?
the bucket list. Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity over there right now.
Yeah, because I was looking at the market, and I have friends, close friends, and they have family there, and they were in the process of buying a house. So I asked them, and I was asking questions, and I was very interested. It was hard just because I didn't have like immediate family there, so I like taking care of it, and maybe a little bit difficult for me. But I'm still, maybe down the line I'll be more interested.
Well, they have programs like companies that they can just manage it for you, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, if you like for Airbnb or something like
Yeah,
that.
but just private property
Also,
management.
yeah, I was because I don't have family there, so I was just thinking of it's cool. I love Puerto Rico. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
So I was thinking of buying it and just renting an Airbnb or something, and just whenever I want to go, then
Yeah.
have it.
There is I think there's a tax benefit or something that you, as long as you stay there for like half the year or a couple months of the year, that could be your second home, and there's advantages of that. So look into that too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was my goal too. So I'm trying to buy a property in Florida first, and then Puerto Rico will be my next one.
Perfect. Yeah, Florida. My family. We're from my island, so we want to move somewhere hot at some point. So we all have that dream of like, oh, one day we'll move over there. And compared to here, you could, for what you buy a house here, you buy
oh my God.
crazy house over there.
Yep.
But just the job market over there is tough.
Well, that's the thing, that I still doing my job over there is just beneficial. Like I could still make a good amount of money with real estate over there because it's such a big turnaround. So that's my goal, is just stick with real estate. It's nice. What I know.
Nice. How long have you been doing real estate?
So I started when I was 15 years old.
Oh my God, 15.
Yeah. So right in high school, I worked in office as an administrative staff, and then I finally got licensed when I was 18. And then my boss was like, "Oh, if you're licensed, you can no longer be an admin." And I'm like, "Shit."
Too late.
Too late. So luckily I was an admin for so long that most people like took me under their wing, and they that's how I survived for a long time. I was just people's assistant. I was learning, and then I finally was like, okay, well, now I'm out here. So never looked back.
That's interesting. I've never heard of anybody. Like, do you have like a family member that's into it?
So the way that I got into it was my mom was friends with the owner of the company.
Okay.
And she did mortgages for her at one point. So my mom did mortgages at one point. And then she was like, oh, my daughter needs a job, summer job. It was nothing. It was like 2 hours a week or something stupid, answering phones. And then I'm like, oh, I like this. And then I just never looked back. Yeah.
That's a gift. You first job and you like doing it.
Well, I worked at Market Basket, and then who doesn't work at Market Basket?
Yeah.
And then I did hair because that's what I did at the Vogue. Cosmetology, but I was like, you know what?
Not my thing.
Yeah. I mean, I like it, but it wasn't what I wanted.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's a crazy business to get into right off that's stress from the beginning.
I mean, I was fortunate to be able to be under other people. So I learned from like top producers, like what not to do, what to do. I mean, it is a still crazy business to be involved. Even now, sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? But it's a cool business.
If you like people, and
I mean, yeah, you have to have some type of dealing with people.
Exactly, because that would get
and good communication skills too. It's very important.
I can imagine. How do you guys usually work? Again, I'm gonna ask a lot of questions because I have no idea. Do you guys have like a set hour?
That's the thing. So they say, oh, I'm gonna become a real estate agent so I can have my own hours, blah blah blah. It really is not.
If you're gonna make money out of it, you have to spend the time.
So the way that it works is, so say you have a 9-to-5 job, right? You have to go to work 9 to 5. If you're buying a property, you need to stay at your job 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You can't see property or look for property unless you're out of work. What time is that at? After 5 on the weekends. So when I come in, I'm working after 5 on the weekends. Vacation time, I'm like super busy. So next weekend's going to be Memorial Day. A lot of people go away for that. I'm going to be working. Yeah. So it's like, it's a trade-off. Yeah, I get my days during the week sometimes, but I'm working when everybody else is off.
Yeah, I always tell people it's like me. Sometimes I could work from home.
Yeah.
There's times where I could go home and work from home, but the tough part is being unpredictable. It's so unpredictable. You really cannot set a schedule. You can't. People are like, so what do you do? I'm like, I don't have time to plan anything because I could plan something and it could all
change.
At any moment in time.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, I would rather just know I start this time and I end at this time and I'm all set.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I mean, you do, like, for me, if I have an appointment, like, not an appointment, I call it an appointment now. Everything's an appointment. So if I have something with the kids or, family members or whatever, I set that and put it in the schedule already, and I don't book anything around that. Like, that is my appointment.
So that's kind of the good part about it.
Yeah, so you can schedule whenever you want, and if you have something that's important, you make it a priority, and it's on your calendar. For me, I'm so busy. Like, today, I wasn't supposed to do anything. I was supposed to catch up on laundry. That didn't happen.
The work never stops,
Yeah.
Especially if you're a mom. May I ask
Yes.
how many you have?
I have 3 kids.
Nice. I got 2, and
How old?
8 and 7.
Oh, mine's are 9 and 8.
Yeah, I mean we should be. How old are you? We should be about
33.
I'm 32. I'm but gonna be 33 in October.
Okay.
So you're close. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got 2, and we're not having any more.
Yeah, I have my 14-year-old, and he's taller than me. I'm short anyways, but he's taller than me. And then the younger 2.
Nice. How old is the younger? 2?
No way.
Oh, I was like, that's a long.
No, it's 8 and 7. 8 and 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's a good
Yeah.
That's not bad. No, girls or
My last one was a girl, so
see,
I tried one more time. Like, yay!
You got it. Yeah, I got 2 boys, and me and my wife always we were like, the girls.
Yep.
But we can't anymore because she can't anymore. But we always had that like, yeah. But what if it just comes out another boy, and then
that's what I said. I said this is the last one, whether it's a girl or a boy. It's the last one.
Done. Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, it's a girl.
I don't know. I had this thing which I don't know why, but I had this thing of like, I'm having my kids before I'm 30. Once
Me
I'm 30,
too.
I'm done.
Me too. I
don't
didn't
know
want to be
where.
an old lady having kids.
I think that's like Spanish.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
Spanish
for me
culture.
is I had friends that had older parents, and I just was like, how do they live? I just never wanted to be that.
Yeah, I think it's like you either choose the battle. Either you don't have a good teenage and 21 when you're supposed to be partying.
Yeah.
You might not have that much fun. But then I look at it, I'm like, well, by the time we're 45,
you're free.
Yeah, it's like
that's when the real fun starts.
Exactly. You have money.
You have money.
You have hopefully you're in good health and you still have fun. So that's how I looked at it. I'm like, I'm by the time I'm 30, I'm done, and I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was an old soul from the beginning. So I was just like, let me just get this out of the way. I don't want to be old. I don't want, like, I really saw people like struggling in their 40s having like kids, or late 30s having kids. And they just like, I can't even imagine now. Like, I'm already energy. Feeling old. I'm like, gee, I can't. No.
Like, we don't have energy now.
No.
Imagine
I'm
that
like
age.
exhausted.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I always thought about it. I was like, I don't know, maybe, you have more experience and you are better at dealing with them.
Yeah.
This is a process. Being a parent is
I think we struggled together as we grew. When we grew together, which is a better, I feel like it's a better bond because they like, you both are growing together, especially my oldest. Like, we mess around all the time. Like, I'm always fighting with him, pretend like we're friends. Yeah. And then when it's cracked down, they know crack it down.
Now it's mom time.
Yeah, it's mom. Oh, why are you being crazy? Like, get your ass over there, So. Yeah,
that's cool. I mean, and you have the girl, so that's kind of like, I feel bad for my wife because it's all boys. So sometimes like I'm like, oh my.
Yeah.
My wife is short and tiny. Like, I don't know if you know her. Her name is Kelly Zapata. She went to our school.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, she went to our
small
school
world.
too. Yeah. So she, the kids rough around sometimes. Yep. And sometimes I'm like, I have to tell the kids, no.
Yeah.
Like, you play with daddy a certain way, and then with mommy is a different kind of play. Especially now that, and my kids are, one of them is pretty big. So yeah, it's
yeah. Oh, I'm still now. I feel like now the older I get, the more childish I am with them.
You get to play.
I'm playing a lot more with them, and I'm the one that starts the fights now.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a process. For me, when they were younger, I think it was tougher for me because I'm more like military
disciplined.
Dad. Like, yeah. So like now we get to we get to interact more. Like like they're like. They both are mama's boys because daddy's the one that's the stern one. Yeah. So in the house, they
I'm kind of both.
Yeah.
I gotta be both.
Yeah. I yeah, I tell my wife all the time, like, you have to, like, can you be the bad one for once?
I'm always the bad one. Their
I'm
father
tired.
doesn't help when it comes to being the bad guy.
Yeah.
He's always like, oh, whatever mom says. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, it's funny. I don't know how I ended up like this because my mom was the same way. My mom was the one yelling and screaming. My dad was just like, let them be.
They're just
leave him alone. Yeah. My mom was like, no. And then now I'm kind of, I'm in that position where I'm the grouchy one. I'm like, God. But then I got boys, and then
yeah, you got it's a balancing act.
Teach them early.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean by, like, sometimes maybe if I was a little bit more mature, I have more patience, like when it comes to them, and be less.
I guess.
But then I think they need it also.
Oh, of course, they definitely need discipline.
Yeah, like I'm not, I'm not terrible, guys. I'm not out here mistreating my kids or anything like that. But I am, like,
I smack my kids just for fun.
If you're gonna do something, if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, you do it. Like,
yeah.
I'm very strict when it comes to certain things.
That's a good way to be, though, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves. If you say you're gonna do something, follow through. Like, don't not do it.
Exactly.
Just makes you look like crap.
And then a lot of people say, oh, it's one time, but then that gets into a habit, and then you just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, one time, great, correct the issue, and you move on. They get the picture.
Exactly. Yeah, I hate wasting people's times. Like, I did an interview with we had an emergency interview. We had two guys here, and for whatever reason, we were drinking also.
Alcohol.
Yeah, and alcohol got involved, and I forgot to record most of the.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was so bad. I was like,
damn,
man, this is, and it was, sometimes interviews, you never know how it's gonna go. Sometimes, like, it might be a tough day for somebody, and they're just not in the mood or whatever, and we just had a great conversation, and afterwards I was excited to go over it, and then it was like nothing. I was like,
damn,
and I felt bad because I'm like, I wasted these people's time, but.
Yeah, technical issues.
Cool. We'll make it. We'll make another one.
Yeah, shit happens.
Exactly. So let's get into a little bit into the business side of things.
Yes.
So what would be your number one advice for people if they were gonna buy a house in this market? Because there's a lot of fears when it comes to, like, the how high the rates are.
Yeah.
Is it gonna keep going? So what would you say?
So it's such a hard question because every person's financial thing is different.
Yeah.
So I think this is the way that I tell my clients is if you can get your money right and you can afford it comfortably, I suggest you buying now.
Yes.
Because we don't know what the market's going to do. People keep saying that it's going to crash and this and that, but we don't see the signs of it being eventually going to get there. It just keeps going up.
Yeah. Yeah, the rates ain't coming back down. We ain't going back to the
not
rates
for a few more years.
Yeah.
Like, they're saying, oh, the end of the year. No, I don't think so. Not to where they used to be in the 2s, 3s, and 4s. It's just not happening.
Yeah, if you bought at those, and I kick myself in the head all the time because I was juggling too many things. Like, right when the pandemic hit, the rates were like what 2%.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, and I was building. I was helping my mom build the house in Dominican Republic, so I was spending money there. I was building this, so I was spending money here.
Yep.
So then COVID came, and then I was like, well, should I pull the trigger and also buy a house? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so it was a tough time in COVID. COVID really opened up a lot of people's eyes and was like, oh, shit, what do we do now?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I do the same thing. I'm like, damn, I should have bought in Florida before COVID because during the COVID season, we ended up, since everybody was virtual, I took the kids to Florida, and we stayed a month in Florida.
Nice.
And I'm like,
you were free.
Yeah,
you escaped.
We were like,
lucky
get
girl.
Here.
You didn't worry about none of this.
No, but they were shut down too. It was just if I'm gonna be home, I'd rather be in Florida than
100%.
up here.
Yeah.
So we took a whole month to do homeschooling and everything in Florida, and I'm like, oh, I should really buy. And then I didn't.
Yeah.
And then the price was like went insane, and I'm like, damn, I should have bought.
Oh yeah, because everybody was moving over there and trying to escape, so the house market,
everything
over there
just went up.
Yeah.
I could have bought. So I own a 2-bedroom condo here. I could have bought that house.
Oh yeah.
I could have bought a 4-bedroom property with a pool and everything in Florida before COVID, and now for the same price as a 2-bedroom up here.
Yeah, it's funny when I first moved out of my mom's house. I don't know. It was just a long time ago. So I first moved out, and one of my friends from high school moved to Florida. He lived in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And we're talking, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just rented this crappy apartment, and it was like $1,700.
Wow.
a month, and he was like, "What? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?" And then he shows me, he's like, "What will you be able to get in Florida for that amount of money a month?"
Yeah, back then that was high.
Yeah, yeah. And I was just like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then that's kind of when I kind of started like, "Oh, maybe I should move over there." But yeah, not the smartest thing when it comes to like work, because he was over there working. "Oh, I'm making like $10 an hour." I'm like, "What?" It's like, no way,
You
I'm
can't
not.
survive off of
Yeah,
that.
no, I can't go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting time. I like a lot of people are stuck like I was like you were when it comes to like pulling the trigger at that time.
Yeah.
And now look, that's why it's like it's tough. Yeah, it's like you said, the best advice is be comfortable. Are you comfortable with the price and how much you're gonna be paying monthly? Because if you worry about the market, then you'll never.
The thing is, everyone's so worried about the market, but if you're planning on buying a house and staying there,
why do you worry?
Why
about
are you
it?
worried?
It's not for business.
Like it has nothing, unless you're buying now and planning on selling next year or whatever. Why are you so worried about it? If you're planning on purchasing as a property and staying 5, 10, 7, you know what I mean? Like, who cares what happens with the market? You're living there. You're not paying another landlord their mortgage. You don't have anybody that can just decide to raise rent or kick you out. Like, there's so many advantages of owning versus being a renter for the rest of your life. And I get it. It takes a lot of money to be able to put down and like pull that trigger. Because I remember when I signed the paperwork, I was scared shit myself. I'm like, oh my God. But you're already doing that. You're already
for somebody else.
Yeah. So it's like, and then they can change their mind and just be like, oh, move out because my family's moving in, or, you never know.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, why pay rent for somebody else when you can just pay it for yourself? I think, and that's why you see, I don't know, if, you look at the news and you never know, but I'm hearing a lot of banks are buying like single family homes themselves.
That's a big thing that's happening right now that not a lot of people are talking about, which I need to do a video about myself. So basically what the big companies are doing is they're buying straight up entire neighborhoods of single family properties and just making them rentals.
Yeah, so they get
So they're going to get all the benefits of the taxes and all that good stuff. And then they're going to control the area. And they're saying that eventually, if they continue doing this type of thing, the regular Joe Schmo like us are not going to be able to purchase anything in the future.
I'm hearing that jacks up the price, period. Because I tried, like, before the pandemic, we went looking for houses. I did everything. I know how much the bank was gonna lend me.
Yeah.
I had.
You almost got there.
Yeah. No, we were looking for houses. We made.
Oh, you were active.
We put a bid in a house.
Yep.
And whatever they asked for, we gave it to them.
Yep.
And then it was like, oh no, somebody bought it for $30,000 more than the asking price. I was like, what?
Yep.
And then we went to another place, same thing.
Yep.
And I was just like, what is going on?
When was this? What year?
I think it was like right before the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Well, because people were afraid of selling because they were like, I don't want strangers in my house with COVID. Like,
yeah.
So nobody was selling. We were still in the low inventory. No one wanted to sell. And then if they did want to sell, where were they going to go if nobody else was selling?
Yeah.
So it was like a weird catch-22. Like, I want to sell, but I don't want random strangers in my house. And then even that, when I was selling, we were technically, what was it called? Like,
online.
No. We had, you know how the medical people, they were like, oh, only people that were allowed to go out.
Yeah.
So the real estate agents got that technical thing, so we were allowed to work. Yeah, the essentials. So when we would be able to show a house, it was like a 5-minute thing. You had to have masks. You had to have hand sanitizer. You were allowed to go in for 5 minutes and get the hell out while they cleaned the next showing. It was crazy.
And that's why you went to Florida.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, it was hectic time, but even then it's continuously been the most craziest real estate couple of years that we've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, the uncertainty just on anything.
Everything
can
is
imagine.
Just messed up.
Yeah. Is that your only source? And I'm sorry, any question I ask, if you don't feel comfortable,
of course,
say next one.
Yep.
Is that your only source of income?
So it has been for a long time. Everything that I do is related to real estate. So if I'm making income from anywhere else, it's real estate. Yeah. So I do mentorship for the team. Okay. Also the CEO of the Furman Group now, on top of my sales that I do. So I do a little bit of everything everywhere.
Jack of all trades.
Yes. So I do wherever they need me, I'm there.
Nice.
Is there money? I'm coming.
Listen, we're young. We got to get it now. I'm trying to retire early.
Exactly.
Once these kids out of the house, I need to live I need to have my fun. I get it.
Yep. My kids are like, oh, you're always working. I'm like, yeah, and you have everything you need or want. You're good.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. These kids
They are so spoiled. Oh my God.
Funny story. My kids, they're so busy. I don't remember being this busy when I was a kid.
Me neither.
Like my kids have like activities Monday.
It's a lot.
Through Thursday. Friday is the only day we get off. Friday, they got soccer, baseball, and then Sunday we get off. So we get 2 days off.
Wow.
But Mama works. I work.
Yep.
I'm starting this. So I'm working a lot more now. Also, when I'm finishing my regular job, that's already 10 hours a day. But we still make it. Like we still, if she doesn't make it, I'll go.
Yeah.
So we try to work around.
Juggle.
Yeah, and these kids, they're like, they take it for granted. It's like, my mom was not in none of these games.
Hell no.
My mom was tired from
what
work.
Games?
Yeah, exactly. Like, get a ride from one of your friends.
Your neighbor.
Yeah, like, take your bike.
Somebody, walk.
Yeah, these kids are like, complaining like, oh, you can't go today? And they throw a fit. I'm like, I've been there this whole week. What are you talking about? But, I'm glad I could be there, but
I mean, it means a lot to them, so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, your kids into sports?
My son is into soccer. My oldest,
it's funny that it's changed. When we were growing up, soccer wasn't that popular. I mean,
I did play soccer when I was a kid.
You did,
and you're
but not for long. So that's
I know.
Yeah,
I don't know how I got involved.
Yeah, we don't play Dominican and Puerto Ricans. We're not.
I don't remember how I got involved. Probably other kids or whatever from the neighborhood, and we ended up playing together.
All the little kids, my kids, they're just. Soccer.
It's easy sport for them to just run around, get all the energy out.
Yes. It's probably the easiest to pick up when you're that age.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But they're all into soccer right now.
Yeah.
So it's
terrible. He Nathan, my middle child, he took a couple years off and now he's asking to go back in. So I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. I had this rule with my kids. Like when it comes to my kids, I try to my way of raising them is a little bit different than my parents in the sense that I'm Dominican. My dad was like, baseball. This is what we do.
My oldest did baseball.
We don't do anything else. And I'm like, I don't like baseball. I like basketball. And that was an issue at my house.
Really?
Yeah. So with my kids, I try to
be open.
Yeah, I'm like, let's try everything. But I do tell them, if you tell me that we're gonna sign up for one sport, whatever the season is, you don't get to quit till the season ends.
Yeah.
So we went to karate. They wanted to quit. I'm like, sorry,
you gotta
finish it. Yeah, we went to.
Yeah, that's a good thing to go by.
Yeah, because then they get used to quitting. Like, oh, I don't like it. I'm
bored.
I'm
okay.
Stop. Yeah, I was like, no.
That's what was happening with my middle son. He was getting to a point where he was just over it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want to go to the games on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm like, all right, well, next season you're off.
Yeah.
Like until you come back saying you want to go back. I think he was just like, damn, I gotta go again.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's tough. Like my kids now, I'm like, it's every day there's an activity.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just like, is this good or bad? Like maybe we shouldn't put them all in.
I mean, I think it's keeping them off the screens because my oldest, he's obsessed with the screen. So I need to do better about him.
It's not just you. This is like,
but he used to play, baseball. He used to play. He used to be a basketball too, and then I don't know what happened after COVID. Everything changed for my oldest. He doesn't want to leave the house. All he wants to do is just be home, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, man.
So it's been tough for him.
He's a teenager. Yeah, I worry about that because when I was, I don't know, maybe we were getting into bad stuff, but we were outside.
Yeah.
That's all we did.
I didn't want to be home.
Yeah, we got home.
You know why I didn't want to be home? Because I'd have to go clean something.
Yeah. Well, we needed to get out of school, clean, and then we could go out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how in my house.
Well, the dishes had to be done for me. I had to go home. My room had to be clean, and the dishes had to be done.
My job was the trash. I needed.
That takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, easy. I needed to take out the trash.
And I bet you still complained about it.
I didn't complain. I would just forget.
Oh, you forgot. Yeah.
My mom would.
I still hate the dishes till now. I think I've been scarred for life.
Yeah, well, I hate. That was part of my job too later on because then it switched. My sister used to do the dishes. Then she got old enough to cook, so she cooked.
I did both. So
yeah, no. If she cooked, I had to do dishes.
Well, that's a good deal.
Yeah. it's funny. The girls get it worse in Spanish households.
We really do.
Yeah, my sisters.
I couldn't do anything until my brother did things first. I'm like, go, Jonah, go do this, go do that. So I could be able to do stuff.
My sister's older than me. She went to our school too. I don't know if you know her name is Heather.
I don't know.
She was very quiet. So, yeah. But she's older than me, but we were in the same. We're like everybody thought we were twins because we were in the same grade, but she's a year older.
Oh, okay.
And she couldn't go out anywhere. If she was going on a date with somebody, she going, oh, your brother needs to go with you.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's how. And then she had to convince me because then I was like a teenager, and I'm like, I'm doing my own stuff, and she's like, but please, if you don't go, I can't go.
Yeah.
So then I would like, sorry, mom, but I used to go with her
and then dip
and then just leave and do my own thing, and then like when you guys are leaving, just make sure you call me and then meet up back up. Yeah.
No, my mom worked at the Lowell police station.
Wait, your mom was a cop?
No, she was a dispatcher.
Okay. So
she had all the incoming calls. So I wasn't allowed to do anything. And then she was like, she had like all these other titles where she did like sex trafficking, like receptionist and specialist and rape things. So she saw all the bad, horrible things.
So she was
she had a daughter.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to do anything. All the cops in the freaking Lowell knew who I was. Oh my God. It was horrible. If I was walking down the street and like she had my phone tapped and everything. Even when I was 17, 18, she's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm coming home. She's like, no, I could see you're downtown, blah, blah, blah. Like, she knew. She was on point. Or she would have a cop.
No.
She had the cops telling her where it was all the time. So I couldn't do anything. But my brother, freaking lost.
Who's older?
I'm older.
Yeah, that's how it was at my house. Like, I remember I had my curfew was like at 12.
Yeah.
And my sister, she just couldn't go nowhere. She didn't have a curfew. Yeah, it was just... Yeah, that was it was interesting. Tough. Yeah, but I get it.
I get it too. I think I would be the same way.
Yeah.
But she was the fact that she was at the police station. She knew what was going on in Lowell. I was always in the streets trying to hang out with my brother and my friends. So she's like, "Oh, you can't go out there," type of situation. It was just tough. I mean, if I was surrounded by all that craziness too, I would not want my kids. But so now she's a CO at Barica. So she climbed the ladder and went to. So she got her badge.
Dating was not fun.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
With a cop.
There was this one time. Oh, my God. I probably shouldn't say this.
We could edit it out. You could tell me later and I'll edit it out for you if it's too bad.
So, no, it's not crazy. So, any person that I ever brought home or dated or had a conversation with, even if we were just friends and they just hung out with our group, she would do a background check.
Oh my!
And if
God.
they had a rap sheet or something, oh my God, you can't hang out with him. Look at all this information. And I'm like, they were just a person that came with another person. Like, I don't even know them.
Yeah.
But that's what she would do.
Good for mom. Protect your daughters. If I had daughters,
she had that type of access.
Yeah. It's funny because my wife always says like she wishes we had a daughter because she feels like it was softening me a little bit.
Definitely.
Because with the boys, it's just make sure you guys.
Yeah, it would be a different dynamic. It'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll never find out. I'm cool with that, by the way. Just because.
And one thing about girls, they are so much more expensive.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah,
my sister was like, I was cheap. My sister was like.
It's crazy.
But I understand. I understand why. It makes sense. I would just worry about daughters with like everything that's going on now. Like she'll be locked up. She would definitely be it'll be just like your mom.
Yep.
Yeah, I will have GPS on her, everything.
Yep.
Like it's just so I don't maybe
it's good.
Yeah, maybe it's for the good for her. She would have
Yeah.
So what about for sellers? When it comes to like if you wanted to sell a house, some people think is the best time right now.
It is the best time right now. So right now it's especially like today there's been so when COVID happened or whatever and we didn't have any inventory, we still don't have enough inventory, and we have so many buyers that are still trying to buy even though the interest rates are high, the prices are high, everything is high. The problem is that the sellers are trying to find out where they're going to go next. So if they're like upgrading or if they're downgrading, they don't have a house to sell. So right now I'm seeing a lot of sellers that are moving out of state because that's where they can buy their house, or they're
yeah.
retiring, or you know what I mean. So if you are a seller and it is time to sell, like right now is, we just need inventory. That's so, and you're getting offers over asking. So if you're
for
like
sure.
everywhere. And then right now, I had a client that I just got on the contract finally after a couple weeks of just consistent offers, and every offer we would be getting outbid because they were just continuously over, and she had a lot of money to put down, a cash, and they were just like, no, somebody else beat you, sorry.
Yeah, like for me, I was getting out and I didn't have that much money. I was just $30,000 over. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, maybe those banks, you know.
And all she was looking for was a 2-bedroom condo.
Yeah.
And like, imagine if you were buying a single family house competing with all these other people that want single family houses. She still couldn't find a condo. It would have been like, I think it was 3 months that I was working with her, and I just got her under contract last week. Jesus. So, and it was consistent every single weekend, 2 to 3 offers every single weekend. So right now it's, the average is 8 offers submitted before you get an offer accepted. So just something to think about when you have, if you're thinking of buying right now, that's the average right now. It's
tough it is.
8 offers before something's accepted.
Is it is there like a major difference from like, I don't know if you work in New Hampshire?
Yeah. Licensed Mass, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island.
Great.
Yes.
So yeah, is it like a big difference when it comes to that? Because also that's a lot of question. I hear a lot of people have that question. Like, how does it work if I buy in New Hampshire but I work in Mass?
So they're gonna tax you on both, property and then your work. So some people don't want to do that. But the prices in property, you get more land in New Hampshire, depending on where you are, obviously. But depending on where you are, the property taxes are higher as well than Massachusetts. So it kind of it's a kind of a wash depending on the area you're looking for. But in New Hampshire, you definitely get more land, more property, compared to Massachusetts, where we're so condensed nowadays. Unless you're moving out west, it's most of my clients that can't afford in Mass, they just end up moving to New Hampshire.
Yeah, I looked. I was one of those. I was starting to look. And I was starting to look not because of the price or anything, but it was just like there was not enough here, especially like around the area. At that time, it was just tough.
It's everywhere,
and everything was like needed like a fix. And I was just like, no, I need it to be
done.
Ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a handy. I've never worked in anything like that, so
it takes work. I mean, once you own a house, you realize like, damn, I have stuff to do here.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, my family, my mom, when we were like teenagers, like 17 around there, she bought a house. And
good for her.
And you know what that means? That means I did the work.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So I kind of had the little taste of how important it is and how the responsibility that you have.
Yeah.
Where now I live in a condo and they come and do everything for me. So that's
there are differences. I'll tell you that. I mean, I feel like if you've never owned your own property, a condo is the best way to go, just so you understand. Yeah, because that's what I did. I bought a condo first. Yeah. And then, I only have to worry about the inside. That's it. And that's my space. Everything else on the outside is taken care of. And usually everything else on the outside is the big ticket items that cost the most money. Yeah. So
I think that's good advice. I think for anybody, especially when you're young, just start off with a condo. You can always just rent it when you're ready to buy. Yep. So yeah, I chose not to buy a condo when I should have. When I didn't buy the house, I should have just got into a condo. But we were like, no, we want our own space. We already live in apartments, and we have to deal with the neighbors. Well, that's
the thing. You have to deal with the neighbors.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not fun sometimes.
I'm
happy where I'm at right now. Thank God we have good neighbors. I live on 100 Merrimack Ave in Drake.
Oh, okay.
I forget what the names are. Cascade? No.
That's where you live?
Yeah.
That's where I live.
See?
That is too funny. Nuh-uh.
See, yeah, that's where I live.
That's too funny.
I've never seen you.
I'm in and out.
Yeah. During the pandemic, I was around with my kids all the time.
Oh yeah, no.
But yeah, we live there, and I have good neighbors.
Well,
Now.
I have a neighbor downstairs. Well, when I first moved in, my niece came over and she's crazy. And I think she was like 2. And
you live
was
in the second floor.
I live in the second floor. Yeah. I thought about buying one on the first floor, but I needed the 2 stories. I didn't want to have the one.
Yeah.
Because I've lived in the one, and I need to like have my kids have their own space.
You could get away.
And I work from home a lot too, so I'm like, go upstairs, go away.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah. No. When I first moved in there, it was terrible. We did have a bad neighbor.
But what was bad? They didn't like the noise, or they were noisy?
They were noisy. I live in the first floor, and they had like a older kid, and the mom was cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was a single mom with like 3 kids, 3 boys. And one of them was like 17, 18, and mom would go to work. And he'll bring kids and have like...
Oh, he was just partying it up.
Yeah, it was bad.
Damn.
It was bad. It was to the point where like I remember...
Did you rat him out? I would have ratted his ass out.
I called his mom. Like I talked to his mom. Like I went nice. Hey, listen, this is happening. She's like, oh my God, this is happening. I didn't know that it was happening. She had no idea.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then, nice the first go around, but then it just kept happening. Then they moved. So it was nice. Then another... now I'm surrounded by old people, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I have to do a lot of helping, trash and snow, stuff like that. Like I don't mind it anyway. So
yeah.
But we're the ones that make the noise, and we live in the first floor, so the kids don't bother anybody in that sense of like stomping or anything like that.
Yeah, my kids are loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you an elephant? Why are you running down the stairs?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? Because I remember growing up, and my mom would be like, learn how to walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was the same thing with me. We were not allowed to just jump around like monkeys. Yeah, it's tough. They've
gotten better.
Yeah, but at least I don't have to worry about snow like cleaning the parking lot or anything like that.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah,
the Cascades are a nice neighborhood. I like them.
Yeah, it's not bad around there. For
easy
kids.
access to everything and quiet. Nobody knows where I live. Now they do, but
I'll probably beat that. I'll probably get our address out of there. Nobody knows.
Well, there's a lot of units in there, so they'd have to sit there and figure it out.
It'll be tough. Yeah.
But I like that neighborhood. It's really nice. Yeah, and being in Drake is just good.
It's nicer and quieter. My landlord is awesome. When we were having the issues, I tried everything not to have issues with anybody. So I remember like their living room was right under my room. I grabbed my bed and everything and like took it. Like I left the room up. Like,
oh my God,
it was that bad.
Wow.
And I was like trying my best not to.
Damn.
Yeah. And then I was just like, listen.
Well, I feel like the walls there are not.
Well, yeah, they're
not good, soundproof at all.
Exactly. That's the other problem. It's like it's hard to like blame the kids. And I was very like cool about it. I used to tell him, like, I tried speaking with the kid man to man. Even before I went to his mom, I spoke to him because he's already a teenager.
Yeah, like, come on.
So I'm like, bro, I don't want to go talk to your mom. Like, come on, let's
chill out.
Do whatever noise you want after 9, please.
Stop.
Yeah, like, come on.
Yeah.
That didn't work. I spoke to the mom. That didn't work.
Damn.
Yeah, so. But they ended up moving, and, it is what it is. But my landlord was awesome. He, like, throughout the whole thing, he was very understanding, and if I don't think I'll move from there till like it's my own place.
Yeah.
Just because, and he doesn't want me to move either. Because I remember I told him, like, listen, if this keeps going, I'm sorry, but
yeah,
I got to do what I got to do. And then he's like, no,
don't leave.
Yeah.
Well, if he wants to sell, let me know.
I know. He's been owning that for like a long time.
He could get a good penny for that right now.
I think he bought that for 100.
Oh my God. It's worth like 3 something right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, should I sell?
How long ago did you buy, if you don't mind?
I bought it before COVID. So I bought it for $210, $215.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So I'd be making
for the price now. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh God. Like I said, if you're buying a house, make sure you're not doing it for, if you are doing it for business, then be smart about it and do all your homework. But if you're doing it because you're planning on living there, just make sure you like it and pull the trigger.
Yeah. I mean, you can never choose your neighbors if you're buying a condo. It is what it is. But if you like the neighborhood, the area, and it makes sense. I wanted to be at a Lowell. I wanted to make sure that it was Drake. For some reason, I like Drake. I worked in Drake a lot. And then I knew that I've sold properties there. So I knew like the layout and I liked the neighbors because they were all old and they weren't gonna bother me.
Yep.
I was gonna bother them.
Yeah, that's what you were worried about. Yeah.
But like I like it. I love being there. It's like my peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's why I'm not like I drive a truck. I could have as much money as I don't think I'll buy like a crazy car. Like
Yeah.
the only thing I will spend money on will be my house.
Yeah.
Because that's the only.
That's your space.
Yeah.
That's where you go home and relax. Just sanctuary.
That's the only thing where I'll be like, okay, I would spend as much as I can afford just to make it comfortable. Because I'm not clubbing. I'm not doing any of that stuff. That's all past my time.
That's funny though, because I don't drink ever
at all.
Like, I'll have one. Yeah. But like I had someone say, "Oh, Kiki, you're always at these events and blah blah," because I do a lot of networking and I'm part of the NAREP. I do a lot of things that I have to network with other people, and there's always alcohol because we're realtors and we love alcohol. Yeah. But I really don't drink. So
I was gonna offer you, but then I'm like, well, you came, you drove here.
Yes.
You are a girl, and
hey, that doesn't mean anything.
No, well, it's funny because you're the first girl that comes here, and I'm always like worried when it comes to that, in the sense of like I want to make you feel comfortable. Yeah. So I always tell people, like, if you want to bring somebody, that doesn't bother me. You should all by yourself. And I was just like, okay,
that's me.
Yeah.
I show up.
Yeah. And like so far everybody drinks every time we had done a podcast.
Yeah.
That's why we have a fridge.
I mean, I do this kind of stuff all the time, so I feel like I'm just comfortable. If someone needs to know or have a conversation about it, I'm just like, hey, what do you need? What do you want? Like, and I do a lot of so NAREP is National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals.
Oh, okay.
So so I was the president of that chapter, the Boston chapter, last year. The past president this year. So I do a lot of like networking. I have to speak at these events. I have to make sure that things are going proper. So I'm always like running the show, and it's just something that comes naturally to me that I like and enjoy. And then obviously there's alcohol because people show up to events, or if there's food. If food, 1,000% I'll be there. I'll be eating.
Yeah. See, like I drink. You'll never. I have probably like one or two friends that see me drunk, but I never get drunk. I drink.
Well, I feel like
just socially, like I'll
socially.
You'll
and
see
it's
me,
usually one.
Yeah, like you see me and I'll have the same beer.
Yep,
like, I'm that
facts.
guy.
Same.
I've never liked, like, not being in control of like I don't never like to me that's crazy.
For me, it's always a work environment. So I feel like I have this reputation that I'm like, oh, Kiki does business, and that's the type of reputation I want to stay with. Yeah, I don't want to ever be having somebody record me being stupid.
Well, I guess I've never been drunk to that point, so I'm guessing I will be worried if I ever was. I mean,
I feel like a lot of real estate agents are like, oh, all they do is drink. Like
that's a big. Well, there's a lot of getting together.
Yeah, we do that, but it's supposed to be for networking, not just to get drunk. And then you see like the sloppy agent that shows up and had way too many drinks, and it's like it's not cute. Yeah. And then if you can't control your liquor, we already like have a little thing against you, like, okay, you can't control yourself in an environment, how are you going to do business?
It's kind of like a weak link.
How are you going to be doing business if you can't control yourself at a networking event that is for real estate? Like, come on. So there's known people in the business. If real estate is so small, like,
I'm
so small. Yeah. We know everyone knows you, social media and everything. And if you are branded as like the person that drinks too much,
the sloppy one,
or the one that doesn't actually like answer their phone, or you know what I mean, like that stays with you.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming, and again, I don't know, but I'm assuming from what I could tell is a very you have to be dependable.
1,000%.
So you can't just have people waiting all the time.
Yeah. Well, if they wait, they're moving on.
Exactly.
Like buyers and sellers, they're amazing. Love them. But if you're not on point with them, they're moving on to the next person that's willing to help them. And I wouldn't blame them either. I'd be the same way.
And there's also a job where like you need to know a lot of people basically. Because so you're the realtor. You need to, I'm assuming,
everybody.
You're a banker.
Yeah. So I always say, if you're going to work with an agent that is doing it part-time, not to knock them, but they're doing it part-time. That means part of their time is dedicated to something else.
Yeah.
They're not going to know the same people. They're not, even if they do know them, they're not going to have the same dedication.
Well, and just to be fair, I'm one of those people that like, I listen and I pay attention. So if you tell me you do this part-time,
yes,
I'm probably not going to, if I go to a mechanic and he tells me I do this part-time,
it's iffy.
Unless you have a long history and you just became a part-timer.
Exactly. Like you're trying to retire and cut it back.
I'm not. That's not. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Exactly. So it's hard to like. For me, I've been in the business for so long. So many people know me and like, oh, Kiki, she's gonna get it done.
Yeah.
If you have a question, call Kiki. Like I've always been like, I'm obsessed with real estate. That's all I know. I love it. And sometimes I surprise myself as how much information I actually do know. I'm like,
you've been doing it since 15, so that's 15 over 15 years now.
So it's I feel like if you're gonna go with someone, make sure they know what the hell they're doing. Make sure that they have a team behind you. If you come to me and you're not pre-approved, I'm gonna get you set up with my lender because I want to make sure, because I know my lender's gonna get it done. Exactly. I know my lender's not going to go MIA or work 9 to 5 because there's some banks that if you go and get a pre-approval from a regular bank, they only work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And even that, sometimes they're hard to get a hold of. So I know my guy is always like, I could call my guy right now and he'll answer. I could call my guy at 10 o'clock at night and he'll answer.
And vice versa.
Exactly. Yeah. He'll call me and I'm like, what's up? Like that's just how we are. That's how we have to be to make sure that we make money in this business. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. We're helping you buy a house, but that's how we get paid.
Yeah. And you have to be from what I could tell, it's kind of like where my job, like there's nobody
telling
I work.
You to be there.
There's nobody telling me be at work.
Yep.
There's nobody, hey, checking over me. Like I have to do that by myself.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
When I first started, I'm like, oh, I don't have to do anything today.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I have no money now.
I went through that because my company is just the owner and then there's me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm get to just do what I want. And I remember I've been there. I started there before I was 21. So I've been there for a while. And I started at the bottom.
Yep.
And I remember having to go to the office and clock in and be there 10 hours in the office, can't able to move.
Yeah.
And then it switched where I was like, oh, you're the boss now.
Yep.
You don't have to come here if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's checking.
Yep.
And you just get a little comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I think it was 6 months after that happened. I was like, I had to kick
check
myself.
Yourself,
hey,
get your shit together.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I can't
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, that's another thing that they assume that we make all this big money and this and that. And I'm like, no, we don't get paid unless you close on a house.
Exactly.
If you're a seller, we only get paid when you sell it. And if you're a buyer, we only get paid when you buy a house. So I can work with you for 6-9 months. I had a client that I worked with 2 years and he finally bought a house after 2 years of me running around with him every weekend and showing properties, submitting offers. So sometimes it's like, damn, you know,
it's tough. And you don't see it all the time.
Yeah.
You work a whole, 2 weeks very hard. You put in overtime.
You don't get paid
2 weeks
until
later,
they close.
you see it. Yeah. You guys, it's just like.
It's so technically, right now I just got that offer under contract. I'm not going to get paid for her until the end of June because she just purchased, she's under contract now. But I've been working with her since the end of March. So I haven't gotten paid for this client running around, submitting offers, showing property. I'm not going to get paid until June.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, you guys make a lot of money. We spend a lot of time not getting paid.
So you have to manage your money.
You have to 1,000%.
You have to keep
paid.
track of because you just don't know. Oh man.
Commission-based business, man. It's up and down.
Yes. Yeah. I work through contracts. So
so you know what's coming in.
5 years, I know unless I do incredible stuff to fuck others up.
Yeah,
it's good. I don't have to worry about
safety's
5
good.
years.
Well, that's the thing that you have to stay consistent with how much you hustle. Yeah. Sometimes I get so tired and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to nobody. Yeah. But it's if you don't, you're not gonna make money, and the money's good, so you got to make up for it. Yeah. So every now and then I'll my whole thing is that I get overwhelmed a lot, because I'm so go. You
got kids and
it's a lot.
Cooking.
So maybe once or twice a month, I'll take a whole weekend where I just disconnect from everybody. Yeah. It's just no
important.
Answers, no calls, no phone, nothing. I just disappear.
It's important. I was in a everything happened quick when it came to like my job. I started in a low position, and I remember, and I was 22, and I was making like almost minimum wage, and then like I found out my wife was pregnant, and that
double time. Yeah.
That like
Triggered. Yeah.
that was like, I tell every time I see like a guy that's like, if he's a good person, of course, if you're gonna be a deadbeat dad, then
it is what it is. Yeah.
But like for me, like the minute I found out, I was just like,
time to go.
Spark.
Yeah.
Like
that's good though. Not a lot of people get that.
I like quadrupled my money in 9 months.
That's awesome.
I remember I was going to my boss, hey, listen, no more playing time. Like if you want me to keep here, you either teach me something, or I'm gonna look for whoever pays me more. Because I was just like, okay, I'm stressed. Like I was.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially a brand new child, young parent. Oh my god. Yeah. The times.
Yeah. So I was just like, all right, I need to go, and I was so used to just working. Like I remember it took me like get out of here. Fast cars, guys. If that was a car that drove by, I'm gonna have to edit that out. More work for me later. But I remember I wouldn't take vacations. It would take like 5 years. I would go like 5 years.
Wow.
Before taking a vacation. I remember I dislocated my shoulder.
Damn.
And the next day I was at work. I remember my firstborn, I was with my computer in the delivery room.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my mom.
I can't say anything. Nuts. I was the same way.
Yeah, so like, and I remember the first time I took a vacation, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so needed, and you don't know it.
Yeah,
but you're not working 100%.
Well, yeah.
And then I took my first vacation. I was like, okay, I need to make sure I do this.
Do this every year, yeah.
To recharge. Mm-hmm. It's been 2 years, so I'm due for one since I took my last vacation. But
yeah, when COVID hit, I was the same way. I would barely take vacation.
You know, it's funny. COVID.
It changed a lot.
Yeah, since I started working when I was 14.
Me too.
I've never had a vacation till I was like, 27.
Wow.
Never had a vacation.
That's wild.
Yeah, I didn't go to my country, didn't travel. It was just, if I took any time off, it was like a day or two but other than that, I would never take a vacation.
Yeah.
And when COVID came, I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, I literally did not know.
Oh, yeah, it was a shift of like, what happens now?
Yeah, and my job, like, my boss was like, we're going to put everybody on unemployment. I'll pay you to be at home. Because I told him.
That's awesome, yeah.
I told him, I'm like, because he's like, oh, you're going to go on unemployment. Like, I'm just going to find another job.
Yeah.
And he was like, well.
I want you back.
He's like, well, what if you don't come back? What if you find a better job and you don't come back? So he's just like, no.
I'll pay you.
I'll just pay you.
That's awesome.
Just go home and doesn't matter. I'll pay you.
There's always a point to be a valuable employee.
Yes. Yeah. And my boss knows, like, I'm
on point.
Yeah. So he was like, you know what? I'll just pay you. And he paid me. But I was still going nuts because I'd never been at home and not doing anything. Of time
with kids, everybody home.
And my wife was working. She's a nurse, so she was working.
So that's tough.
And I had to stay home with the kids, which is fine by me. Like, I'm good at cooking. I'm good at all that stuff around the house. With the kids, I'm good with all that stuff.
But
so I was
get bored though. It's like
well, again, I was like, I'm military, so like the house is super clean. My wife was like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah.
Because I was just like, okay, this is playing time, this is cleaning time, this is eating time. Like I had everything.
You had everything.
Yeah, and the structure
set down.
But I was going nuts in my head because I've never had that much free time ever, so I didn't know what to do with it. It was like.
So for me, I had the same thing. I was working at a company. The same company that I first started. This was before. I'm at a new company now. And I worked there since I was 15. So I've been there. I did every position that I could possibly get. I got up to the CEO of that company. And I was managing 500 agents there.
Jesus Christ.
So when COVID hit, and all of a sudden I had to be home and be a teacher for my kids and manage. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, what do I do now? Like, it was just a lot.
Yeah, I remember that. That was not fun.
Not fun at all.
The teaching online for the kids. Oh my God,
horrible.
Yeah, I was.
And imagine the little kids, they don't want to sit there on the screen all day playing, like teaching. What the hell?
Then I had two, and one of them was in school at that time. Like, only one of them was. The little one hasn't started yet.
Yeah. Well, mine, all of them were in school, and I was supposed to help them all at the same time. And I'm like, oh my God, different classes, different teachers, different iPads, computers.
Yeah.
It was a shit show. But what I did realize was like, damn, I work a lot.
Yeah.
and I need to readjust what the hell I'm doing as their mom.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I can't stay doing this position anymore, because I was like, literally, I didn't take vacations. If I did take vacations, I was with my computer with me.
Yeah.
I remember I was pregnant with Nathan, my middle child, and I was in the middle of negotiating while I was going to the hospital.
So much stress. That's
you
not
know,
good.
like it was
That's
just a
not good.
lot. So I'm like, damn, I didn't realize how much I actually worked.
Yeah.
And then I would wake up at 4:00 in the morning, because that's when I would be able to have a conversation with the CEO. And that was the time that she had for me. So I would wake up at the crack of dawn just to get my answers ready to go. And then I would run the show for the rest of the, day with the employees, staff, agents, everything. And then I would go to bed at like 1 o'clock at night, just making sure I finished, and then throwing the kids in there every once in a while.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
So then when COVID hit and I had all this extra time, I'm like, I'm missing a lot.
Yeah.
Like as their mom, I'm missing a lot. And that sucks, because even if I was there, I wasn't really there.
Yeah, because
I'm like doing other things while I'm supposed to be present, and that sucked.
Yeah, like in my position is kind of like the same way. Like when I go on vacation, my job doesn't get, nobody pick it up. Yeah, like it's just piles up.
Yep.
So like they're like, oh, what, you have sick time? I'm like, doesn't matter. Like
I got shit to do.
like nobody's gonna. I can't call out because nobody does it. Like,
Yeah.
it just means the next day I got double the work.
More. Yep.
So that's why a lot of people was like, oh, but you have money, you could go on vacation. It was like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
That is, for me to go on vacation, I have to put in like 2 months extra ahead
In
of
advance.
work so I can actually take the vacation.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that. A lot
No.
of people think it's just like fun and games, or they will look at me and was like, oh yeah, you get to go home. And I'm like, you don't
Yeah, you don't get it.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Yeah, for me, it's like other people are sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I need you to
Yours
do
is
this.
worse,
Yeah, like, where are you going? What?
Yeah.
When? How? Are you not going to
How
help
long?
me?
What about my house?
Exactly.
God.
And even when I was managing 500 agents, I was the go-to person for the answers. And I was the staff manager. Like, so imagine 500 people, and not even all of them would bother me. Like every once in a while we'd have, whatever. But I was managing the staff, making sure that they ran the offices how they were supposed to. I was basically the problem solver for the entire company.
If you are in any manager position, that's all you are. You're a
problem solver.
Yeah.
And I was the master of problem solving.
Yeah.
But if I took a day off, there was going to be shit, like the most stupidest problems you could possibly think of. But they would be like, oh, where's Kiki?
Why are you calling me?
Because Kiki would have fixed it.
Yeah, that's tough.
So it's like they're just sitting there like, oh, I'm waiting. And then I'd feel bad because somebody else is waiting on me.
Yeah.
Because I'm on vacation. So
yeah, no.
it's tough.
Like, I don't like my job. Not because of like, I'm good at my job.
Mhm.
I don't like it.
So
I
what
don't
do
know.
you do?
You start a podcast.
That's true.
That's what you do. Because this is how this happened. I was just like, well, it was COVID happened. I got forced to not work when I have never
Not worked.
since
Yeah.
I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
I always worked. So I was just like, wait, so I didn't do anything, but my whole business is going to shit. And it is like, we took a major loss. Like still to this day, we're still trying to get back.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So I was just like, wait, so they could just shut my job. I didn't do anything, but my business is going to hell.
Yep.
I need to do something that they cannot do this to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
this is how this started. I was just like, well, I don't know. Let's do something.
I think COVID was a big eye opener for thousands of people. Like
Yeah.
they were like, oh my God, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And hopefully that never happens again because it was a shit show. But I mean, I'm thankful for my job that there's people are always going to need houses.
Yeah. So
But it's scary that, the world changed so drastically. It's like, oh my God.
yeah, especially when you're a parent. Like I have friends that they were just like having
Chilling.
the best time.
Yeah.
Like, are we getting free money? Like
I didn't get no free money.
Yeah, me neither. Like I
had to work.
I have to pay taxes every year. I'm like, I don't. This is like everybody's excited about taxes. I'm like, I am not.
Oh my God.
I can't wait. Like
Taxes are not my best friend.
Yeah. So, again, it's just.
You take the good with the bad.
Exactly. There's nothing not much more you could do about that. But so far, like you're awesome to talk to. So I will see why you do good.
Thank you.
Some people it's hard to like have a conversation with certain people. Yeah.
Yeah, pulling teeth.
Yes. something I'm trying to get good at.
You just ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't prepare. I don't have like a nothing.
I usually wing it too. So
yeah, I won't follow the plan anyway. I'm like, what's the point? Like, I know I'm not gonna follow this through, so let's just go there and see what happens. Yeah, see what happens, and that's usually what I do. But you were awesome. So it's great talking to people. I like to talk to people that I want to talk to. Mm-hmm. Usually, besides that, everybody will be like, "Oh, you're quiet." I'm like, "Well, depends."
Yeah.
If I'm interested, I would
have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
I talk to a lot of people I don't want to talk to just because it's my job.
Yeah.
Or I have the face of like, oh, I try to smile a lot because they say I have a resting bitch face if I'm not. So I'm always trying
I didn't
to smile.
I didn't get that. So I don't. Yeah,
I was probably smiling when I walked in. Yeah. But that's what I've been told for a long time. So now I'm always trying to smile so that people think that I'm approachable, which I really am. Like I try to be friendly to everybody. Who you never know. Yeah. Where business will come from, and that's a big thing that I've always like, oh, if I have a resting bitch face, damn, I gotta like change that. I'm like, thanks mom for giving me the resting bitch face. But she's the bitchy one, not me.
all Spanish moms, like,
yeah,
I tell people, like, listen, you want somebody on your ear,
yeah, well, that's why I say when they meet her, I'm like, yeah, she's the mean one, I'm the nice one, and you can see where we get each other's personalities from.
Yeah. Do you have like a plan of like when you're gonna retire, or like you don't see yourself?
I don't see myself retiring anytime soon. I
want
of course
to. You're young, but
yeah, but the goal is to build a team where I could just step away, and they continue making money for me. So right now, this is Michelle Furman. She's my team lead, and she's doing everything that I want to be doing. So she's put me into a position where I'm the CEO now of the team, plus on top of the sales that I'm doing, and then managing and mentoring and all that good stuff. So I'm learning how she's doing some of the back end that I need to know that will eventually be my position. And her goal is to, retire soon as well. So it's like she wants to still make money with her business, but not be there day to day 24/7, because she works. Like, she is all about real estate, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
So
there's, a lot of people think that, like, if you ask, oh, I would love to have my boss's job. I am not like that.
Yeah.
I don't want my boss's job. Just because not because I don't want it, because I see how hard he works. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, he gets to take it easy. No, my boss works way harder than I do.
Yes.
And he has to.
That's a lot of people, they don't realize. They don't realize what it actually takes in the back end. And I've always been on the back end, so I know.
Yeah.
And I know what it takes to manage other people that are supposed to be making money.
Yeah.
And then when they fuck up, then you're losing on your end after all of this money you've put into it, all of this work and effort. And she's built a team where it's like, we're killing it. We're the number one team in New England. We're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing. But on the back end, she is nonstop, go, no matter where she is. Because I'll tell you, she travels a lot. She's out of the country right now. She's going to be out of the country next week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's always somewhere.
She probably needs, like, I need to get out of here.
But she's always working wherever she's at. So if she's on a beach, she's on her laptop, on her phone. Like, right now, as soon as I check my phone, I could show you that I'm going to have a million messages, either from her, the team, mentors, clients, my kids, whoever. I'm going to have my phone blowing up.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, I already do that. I already manage people. I know how to take care of things. I did it before. That's the goal that I'm watching her. So she's already put me in a position, like, we're lining up. We're on the same page here. That's my goal. So I want to be her when I grow up.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm trying to get away. Like, I've managed restaurants. I manage a transportation company. I help manage like a nursing daycare thing. Yeah. And I've been in that position for so long that I'm trying to get. This is why I started this with just me.
Yeah,
so there's no team.
Yeah.
This is a very small team. I have 2 other people that help me, but we're not relying on each other. They do their thing, I do my thing, and that's why I built this, because I was just like, I need to get away from people. I don't want to deal with people. Only the people I want to deal with, but not in the way of like, you're responsible.
Yeah.
Like I'm not responsible for. Like I have another guy that works for me. The way we set it up is like, whatever he gets out of this, that's his.
Yeah.
And he has to put in that work, so he has to be self-reliant.
Yes.
On himself, and he has the freedom to do what he wants to do, but it's not dependent on me.
Yeah.
Because that's where it is. It's stressful.
Daunting, yeah.
It's stressful. Like you met like, if I mess up, I cost 20 people their jobs, or my boss a bunch of money.
Yep.
So it's stressful,
mm-hmm.
and I don't want to have that responsibility except for myself. So I'm like, where can I do this where I'm just like, sinks if the ship sinks is my fault, and if it rises is my
I mean, real estate's kind of similar. The agents are all independent contractors, so if they don't work, they don't make money. But we put in so much, Michelle puts in so much money into the team to feed them leads and to feed them clients and to give them all these opportunities, that if they're not turning and converting the people that they're supposed to get from us, we're losing money. So for her to grow a team that's supposed to work and make sense on books, on the paperwork and money, we need to put all that effort in. We need to always continuously find different lead sources and always, share and advertise that we're in the business. Because you'd be surprised. People forget that you're a real estate agent. Even people in my own family, and I'm like, bro, this is all I talk about. Do you see my whole life?
Yeah.
So it's hard because people are like, they're so in their own world and their own little bubble that they forget.
Yeah.
So we're always constantly like, we got to share and advertise and, promote. And it's a lot. You
know what I think you like about this is I don't think you like the uncertainty. I think you like not doing the same thing over and over again.
1,000%.
Yeah.
It's always, I feel like I've never been diagnosed, and I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody with ADD, but I feel like I have ADD. Like I need to be doing something every single day, and I get bored if I'm doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
That's like with me. I don't know when I wake up, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have no idea how my day could go. I could literally go into the office for 2 hours and leave.
Yeah.
And not have to do anything for the rest of the day.
Amazing.
And then sometimes it's just like, oh my God, how I am gonna
get this done.
Yeah, get through today.
Yep.
Well,
now I just started using my calendar because I've been like all over the place, and half the time I don't even know what day it is.
Oh my God.
Like the other day, I go home and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything for the rest of the day today. Amazing. And then someone, my photographer calls me, hey, I'm almost at the house. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I had a photo shoot for a listing that I was supposed to be at in Nashua. And I'm like, shit, I forgot about being there. So I had to hurry up, drop the kids off, go meet my sellers. And it's just, if it's not on it wasn't on my calendar. If it's not on the calendar, then it doesn't exist.
It might.
So now I have to strictly, I have to look at my calendar every day. And even if I am looking at the calendar, like today, I had nothing but 2 appointments this morning. And then all of a sudden my phone just went off the hook, and I've been on my computer all day showing property the afternoon. So I was just showing property in Tewksbury today. That's where I was coming from here. So it's you never know.
Yeah, and it's never ending.
Never ending.
Kudos to you. Like I said, I'm trying to get away from that such.
Well, I feel like in the position that I have now, I feel like I will eventually get to a point where I'm doing less of the running around, and
it's all about the team, basically.
Yeah, it's more about the team. Yeah. So
it's the same thing with me. I'm only having a bad time when I have bad workers.
Right.
When I have good workers, it's great.
It's great.
Yeah. That makes sense. But it's just you don't get like that all the time.
No. And we're fortunate that the team that we have is so family oriented. Like we really are a group, and I've never had that in real estate. It's always like you get the bad misconception of like the sleazy salesman, and we're compared to the the dealership car salesman, and I'm just like, you can find a really good agent that's gonna care about you. Like if I see a house and it's a dump, you ain't buying that. Like, I'm going to tell you ain't buying that. We ain't buying this next house.
Yeah.
And there's people that be like, no, buy it because they're desperate.
They just
I don't operate that way.
End,
yeah. Because if you're not happy as a buyer, then I'm not. I didn't do my job right.
And it's going to trickle down. They're going to say that to somebody
they're not
else.
going to refer me. They're not going to tell their family who they use. And going to be like, oh, it's all her fault that house is shit show and blah, blah, blah. Like, I want you to really like your house. It's the place you're going to spend the most time.
Exactly.
You can't buy a piece of shit house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I, I want another question. Do you guys usually, um, since you guys are in the real estate business, and everybody always says, the safest investment is real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning on just being a big owner of a bunch of apartments and rent them?
Eventually, yeah, I want to.
Is that the goal for like all of you guys basically? Or?
Not all of us. A lot of the team do own multiple property.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of multifamilies and stuff, which is usually the way that most people go. When you start getting into like owning like apartment buildings and stuff, that's like another level, which is amazing.
That's where I want to get to. Like my goal is to hopefully this works.
Yeah.
Either it's like so many weird things when it comes to this. There's like I got people renting the space to do their own podcast.
Yeah. I'm
doing like 2 other podcasts besides this one. So it makes money that way, and then hopefully if
multiple streams of income, baby.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly. And then I'm looking to invest majorly on real estate.
Yeah.
I'm not an investor on like bonds and stocks and like
me neither.
Those things are like I don't
understand it. So I'm just like,
me either. This all looks fake.
Yeah. So, just lines on the screen. I don't know what it means.
Like I could touch this house.
Exactly. I know where it is. Yeah. I could see it. I could visit it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be the. What do you say about that? Do you agree with that statement? That is the safest investment you can make?
I mean, you can fuck up royally in real estate. You can lose your ass in real estate if you're not paying attention, if you're not working with the right team, if you're not like looking at the contracts. Like you can buy a house that you think is beautiful, perfect, it's gonna make you money, and then if it's in the wrong location, you're shit out of luck. So it's a thing that you have to really know what you're doing, and the area you're buying in, and the people that you're working with need to know what the hell they're doing. So for like, it is a high risk thing, but it's collateral, it's a property. The bank trusts real estate a lot, so they give people loans for it. It's just if you're not careful, you can really, really be screwed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go for pretty much any industry.
Yeah,
but yeah, like real estate to me, like even if you like, well, it depends. If you're buying just to rent, and it depends, I guess, if it's like single families. I always was told that you shouldn't buy single families to rent. You should buy multiple, just because.
I mean, if you're first starting out and haven't bought anything, the multiple family house is easier to get rented and approved for because you can use the income from the rental on your mortgage, and it gives you a bump up in your buying power.
Okay, yeah. So the bank adds that into
so they'll add that in as an added income source for you. So they'll bump up the purchase price that you're allowed to buy versus a single family. It's just a single family. Unless you're buying it as an investor, which is going to bump up the down payment for you anyways. You know what I mean?
Yes, they're going to
want more money. Yeah. Technically, if you're buying it as an investor, they're gonna want the 20%. But if you're buying it as a primary home, then that's gonna be, depending on the loan that you get, FHA 3.5%, 5%, 10%, whatever you want to do, if it works for you and you qualify for it. So it just depends on what you want to do. But first-time home buyers, they usually do a 2-family home. The only thing is that, are you prepared to be a landlord?
Yeah, there's another fun. Yeah.
So it's not always fun and roses when it comes to being a landlord, especially if you have a shitty tenant that isn't taking care of it, or they're just not paying. Like what happened with COVID, all these people didn't pay rent, and your mortgage was still due.
Yeah, you're still responsible for all that stuff.
So there's a lot of like good things and bad things,
I mean,
you just gotta be prepared and save some money, and do your homework and pick the people that are gonna be trustworthy, I guess, because you never know a person until they're actually living.
Yeah, that's
especially for landlord. It's like, oh, I know her for years, blah blah. She's kind of family, and then you realize like, holy shit, this is how they live.
Oh no, that's the one thing I would never do. Rent to family. It's gonna have to be.
That's a big thing.
Like that.
So for me, I've always said, don't do business with family, especially with real estate. Yeah. It's just it turns into a disaster.
Yeah, I learned this from just being a manager. It's like, okay,
I feel like they just think that they're just gonna, because you're family, that you're gonna get special treatment. I'm like, no, this is just how it is.
This is my job, which means I gotta do a good job.
Exactly.
So that means I have to make you do your job because that's my job.
Exactly.
So yeah, I've been through that plenty of times. Like I said, I've been managing for like 14 years now, and I've gone through hiring friends, and that doesn't turn out good. Or
that's the worst part. Yeah. And you feel bad because you really want them to work out because they're your friend and you really like them, and then they just don't.
Yeah. Now everybody just thinks it's like, oh, he doesn't like to hang out with people. I'm like, it's not that.
You're a loner.
Yeah, no, it's just like
it's just easier without having to deal with other people.
One side of my business has like, they throw parties, like they throw like an annual worker party. Like the boss comes down and takes everybody to a any restaurant they want, and they get to drink for free. And
that's cool.
He comes and pays for everybody. I have never gone in 14 years.
Really?
Never gone to one.
Wow.
Even my boss is like, what's going on? And like, you don't deal with them every day.
I want to get away from them.
Yeah, like I deal with them. So on my time off, the little that I get, you want me to come here.
That's true.
And drink. I could drink somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true. And I can see that.
Yeah, and also it's just like people start getting comfortable. And then it's like, it's just like I've learned to just be like, it's better just to keep it separate. They all could talk to me and they'll tell you like, oh, you're one of the best boss ever. That's what they all say.
That's good.
But in my mind, it was just like, but
step
not
away.
too close. Like, like, go come to my cookout. Like,
yeah, I mean, I feel like it depends on the people too, because our team, we party hard.
Well, in your
but we're back to business. You know what I mean?
You kind of like build into it, like
that's true.
Mingling and
that's
like
true,
hanging out is kind of like it's part of the job.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like, and it's funny because I feel like I'm like a counselor.
That's
like
real
I gotta
estate.
listen to everybody's problems.
Real estate, yep.
Like that's all like. That's all I get. Everybody, I have to deal with everybody's problems.
Yep.
I got to deal with my workers' problems. I got to deal with the clients' problems.
Yep.
I got to deal with the owner's problem. I got to deal with the state's problem. It's just like,
get
away.
I mean, that's what an agent really is the personal counselor that's going to guide you to buy your house, because then the real stuff comes out. Or if like the spouses don't get along, or they're not seeing eye to eye, or you know what I mean? Like you have to be the middle person.
The house, the other one doesn't.
See,
and it's a lot of these little nuances that people don't get.
There's a lot. Like people in general are so complicated that you're just like, you just gotta take whatever. So I learned pretty quickly to keep my mouth shut. I'm like, I don't know anything. Keep me out of it. And they'll have like full blown out like fights,
arguments,
and I'm just like, I'm gonna stay over here. You guys finish. I'll be outside. Or like if it's I try to be on both sides, not just the girl side or the man side or whatever. I'll be like, I just want both of yous to be happy. Like
men. Just let them pick. Okay. Just
yes,
make your
but
life easier.
sometimes there's women that are unrealistic as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, it has to be with the budget.
Exactly. You have to be about the budget, and if it's something unreasonable, then I'll even say something.
Yeah,
like it's
okay, this is not.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know your client too, like how much of a line you're gonna cross here. Because at the end of the day, you work for them.
Yeah.
That's the end of the day. Even though you become friends, most of my clients become friends. We go hang out. We do things together because we spend so much time.
Help them buy their first house, which is an important step.
So that's the goal, is to become their friend. But there's some weird situations where you just like tiptoe around it. Like,
can you say, without saying names, can you say like a real crazy story, or like something that sticks to you where you're like, oh my God, this is
I've had quite a few stories. Not necessarily with my clients, more of like other people when I was showing houses. There's one that they weren't fighting or anything, but they this is a rule that I have for all my clients, is when they're buying a house, not to do anything else with their credit or buying anything. So I had one of my agents that they're in the middle, they're about to close in their house, and they were so excited that they ended up buying a new car before the house was sold. And I'm like, So that was a shit show. They didn't get the house.
Yeah, the bank sees that extra income now.
So that's one thing. There was another girl that ended up buying furniture for the house and opened up a credit card
before the house.
Screwed that up, so she had furniture for no house.
That was the first thing they told me.
Yeah, so the way that I do my clients is like we have a full-on buyer consultation. Like these are the things you're allowed to do. These are the things you're not allowed to do. And if you're questioning it, call me or call the lender and we'll have a full discussion about it. Don't do anything without asking. But some crazy things like people sleeping in the house, people showering in the house where we're supposed to show property. Like just
like you gone there and there's like a stranger in the house.
Well, whoever lived there, they were there sleeping. They forgot they were supposed to be there. Oh God. So now I always knock on the door. I ring the doorbell a few times before I even open the door. And then even that, they're just hanging out. Like it's sometimes scary. Yeah. So you never know what you're going to be into. Or like a dog chased somebody once before. I got stung by a bee at a house. Like there's so much shit. You
just don't know what's going to happen throughout your day when you are in the real estate business.
Oh my God. Yeah. Me saying got stung by the bee reminded me of that court with Amber Rose. Not Amber Rose. What's her name?
I don't remember her name.
Johnny Depp's
and,
ex-wife, whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but
that's
I know
too
Johnny
funny.
Depp. Yeah.
Put a clip in there.
Yeah, she's not moving.
Oh my God. But yeah, there's a lot. There was a couple close, scary ones where there was this random guy that wouldn't let me leave the house, so that was scary. So there's just a lot of dangerous situations that you're meeting strangers. You don't really know these people.
Yeah. That's why I'm surprised. Like you felt comfortable. Like that's why I was like, when I was texting you, I was just like trying to make sure. Because I as a woman, I get
if I had some off vibes, I wouldn't have come.
Well, I was hoping Jose, put in a good word for me.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, his name is not Jose. What is
Josue?
Josue, yeah.
But people call him Josh, so I don't even know what his real name is.
He goes by many names.
Yeah, so it's funny, but I'm comfortable. If I feel comfortable, I'm all good. But if I have like a weird thing, I'm like, okay, signs up.
Yeah, like I'll tell you my plan, how my plan was. And Josue didn't come in, but I'll get him in here. Yeah. I either with Stein
I love him,
again.
so we'll come back.
Yeah. So I want to do, because he might be able to help out with more questions or like help out. The goal is to help out people who have
absolutely
have a question.
And he sells cars too, so double whammy with it.
Exactly. He's just a total salesman all around.
All around.
Yeah, he sells clothing too, so
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I gotta talk to him.
So my plan was to get both of you guys in and then have you come in if you feel comfortable with me. Then come
separate
in by yourself, because I also like that you ride bikes.
I do.
So I
always forget I do that.
And I like bikes. I don't own one. I come from Dominican Republic, so it's normal.
It's the normal thing to do.
Yeah, over there, that's all you use. And
we're not talking about bicycles, guys.
Yeah, no.
We're talking about motorcycles.
Yes.
And I've said that once to a client. I'm like, oh yeah, I like riding bikes, because that's what I say. And they're like, oh, you're a cyclist? I'm like, no. What the fuck?
I'm on the street.
I'm on the street. But now I'm like, I have to correct myself. Why do I always say bikes? It's just what we call it.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, we could, I could then bring her in for that aspect also. Yeah. But next time when Josue decides to show up, I'm just playing.
He's busy too.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, like I said, he's doing he's involved in so many things. So I don't take it personally when anybody can't show up.
No, he's part of NAREP. That's how I met him too. So he was on social media. That's how I found him, and he was like very interactive with my page, and I was interactive with his, and we're in the same brokerage too. And then
makes sense.
Yeah. So then he, I thought that he would be great for our marketing position for the NAREP organization, and then I brought him in, and we were like, I think he'd be a good fit, and we've been, jiving for a couple months now, which is pretty cool. And the NAREP organization has been great, and he's all for it, which is amazing, because it was, a little time where COVID kind of ruined things for that. Nobody was going out, and that's basically what we did was kind of network. So we're picking it back up, and he's been a major help for that.
Nice. And he's a good dude. Everybody that works for him has,
always
good things to say. So that's how I judge people. Like, what are the people around you saying? So
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm sure he'll come in. Me and Stein are talking, and we'll hopefully you too. Hopefully,
I'll be back.
Become a regular. Exactly. And when it comes to like the podcast, I like to it's gonna be like different. It's not just all rapping or it's just
everything.
I like it to be.
I feel like it's interesting that way. It's not stuck to one thing.
Well, 'cause that's the purpose for me is like it wasn't ever to make money. Like that's part of it, of course. It's a business, so if you don't want a business that doesn't make any money.
Exactly.
But and I've said this in a few interviews, but I'm gonna keep saying it, I guess. I like to write. That's what I'm like what I'm trying to do is become a writer.
Nice.
And this is a cool way to interact and hear stories and hear another perspective. I can't travel. I can't do like the typical what a typical writer does. I don't have time. I have kids and stuff.
That's a lot.
So I'm like, well, I get to I don't club anymore. It's not what I do. What's a cool way for me to like interact with people and get to like listen to the different perspectives and
their story.
Yeah. So that'll help me with my writing. So it's kind of like a little selfish.
Hey, whatever works.
So like that's basically what this is.
That's awesome.
Get to talk to whoever.
At least you got something that you're passionate about. I feel like a lot of people are stuck in their lives where they're just like doing it for the money because that's all they have to do and they hate it. And I just can't live my life like that.
I went through that. That's like with my job. Like I told you, I'm good at it. I don't like it. It makes money. Yeah.
But you're not passionate.
But then
about
after
it.
a certain amount, after a certain time and a certain amount, you just start going like, okay, well,
I'm done.
This is I'm gonna keep doing this for the rest of my life. Like it's just
you get a reality. Like, damn, what else can I be doing?
Exactly. And I was just like,
did that happen during COVID? Is that what triggered it or no?
Well, with COVID, it was more like I said, it was just like I was upset that
you were home.
Somebody decided that I couldn't work.
Yeah.
And thank God my boss was good enough to pay me, but what if that wasn't the case? So now I'm supposed to depend on I've never been in like unemployment or anything like that. Like I was anxious. I was just like,
what do I do?
And I was angry. I was just like,
I think a lot of people were angry.
Yeah, I'm like, how can you just decide that I can't work?
It's crazy.
So I was just like, I need to do something that I like. I need to do something that they can't like
take away.
Yeah, they can't really like get involved with. It's my own, like if you want to come sit down with me, you can't do anything about it. So I did it, and I don't know anything about
you've learned. It is what it is.
I don't know anything about mics. I don't know anything about editing. I don't know anything about lighting. I don't know anything about anything. So I was just like, all right, well, let's do research. I did my research for like a year. Then COVID. Was cheap because of COVID.
Yep.
So I was like,
everything commercial went way down.
Yeah. So I was just like, well, if I'm gonna do it,
might as well.
Yeah, might as well do it now. And it is a humble studio. It doesn't look like much, but it's about $30,000 in here.
I mean, I think they people don't realize that technology is fucking expensive.
Yeah, and not just that. Also, just like the way I do things is like. I've been in business for a while, so like I'm like, okay, can't be like a year and I close. It's not enough time.
You're committed.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, 3 years.
Yeah.
Like I made out a whole plan. I'm like, okay, 3 years. I'm gonna go and pay the rent for 3 years.
That's awesome.
Like right all together.
That's awesome.
I told her because I don't want to
worry about it.
Yeah, I don't want to see this money leaving and nothing coming in.
Yeah.
I'm a business guy, so if it doesn't make sense,
why am I here?
It's gonna start like bugging me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, if I do it this way, I won't quit. It's already paid for.
Mm-hmm.
I have no choice now.
That's a good.
I have to just do it.
That's a good.
So I just was like, all right, let's do it. I started by myself. Then I brought in one of my friends from high school too, David. He came in. I told him, hey, what do you think? You think you'd be interested in something like this? He was like, bro, you have an idea? Let's do it. So we
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
everyone needs that type of friend that's like down to do whatever.
Oh yeah, you tell your friend something and they're like, that's never gonna work.
Yeah. You
David,
can't have those. Drop those people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's good and bad because David he would just say yeah to whatever. He was probably like, oh, let's just do it, and then if it didn't work,
I'm that friend though. I'm that friend. Like, let's go. I'm not thinking anything through. I'm just like, let's jump in with both feet. No clue whatsoever. So,
but it's planned out, and we got like 3 episodes. Yeah, there's 3 episodes out. There's been a lot more that they'll never see the light of day, but
oh no.
Yeah, it's a process. This thing changed so many times, like in a year that has been open.
Yeah, but you figure out what works and what doesn't, and then you keep going. I started a podcast, but I've just been slacking on getting it done.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie.
It's hard.
It's
a lot.
One of those things you have to be motivated. So, like, this is cool.
Yeah,
this is the cool part. I get to sit down and talk to you. It's like, but then I have to go home
editing,
and, like, go through all that stuff.
Yep.
And the simplest thing,
that kind of stuff is like, that's the weird part for me, is that I could be either super obsessed about getting it done and editing and doing all the right things, or I'd be like, I'm not even fucking doing this.
Yeah, that's.
I'm very in and out. Like, it depends on the mood that I'm in. That's the ADD dropping in. Like, I gotta be.
I think you'd be good at in a podcast. So
I mean, I have it. It's up. I have, I don't know, like 7 episodes.
Oh, okay.
It's just me talking about real estate and my experiences and a couple stories. So you hear, if you watch, it's Real Estate Unhinged, so it's there. But it's probably like bad quality sound, and it is what it is. I do it off my laptop. But I haven't gotten to the point where it's video yet, and it's just a lot to just do. Yeah. On top of everything else that I do.
Well, you are doing a lot of stuff, and this takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, not really. It depends. Like, it was about real estate.
Most of it is about real estate, what's going on with real estate, what I'm up to, like just updating, basically an update of what the heck I'm up to.
I think that'll work. I think.
Yeah. And then the goal was to be, I want to do video, but it's just the editing of the videos.
Yeah. There's a few tricks. If you want to start back up, you want to ask me questions or things that could help.
So our office, where we're trying to build an office where the podcasting is in, that's the goal, is to eventually do that, and I'll probably manage that as well. But I'm a geek when it comes to like electronic stuff, and I'm just like, I want to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not to the point where like all that stuff over there, and I have a mic, and then it just connects to my computer, and that's what I've been doing.
I mean, it's simple. It works if it's just for one person.
Yeah,
it's not.
So the goal was to have, so it's Real Estate Unhinged. That's the podcast name.
Good name too.
And that was basically what I wanted it to be, is like crazy stories that happen in real estate. There's so much shit that happens in real estate that you can't even believe is real.
Yeah.
And those are the stories that I want. And I just need it to be, so once the office is done, I'd be more, comfortable with upgrading my stuff, and then being able to have people come in just like you, and kind of share, their most ridiculous stories in real estate. Yeah,
and you're good at talking. So I think it will just lead people to you guys.
Yeah.
It would just be a no-brainer. Like, oh, they have a podcast there around here.
Yep.
Let's just go to them.
Easy comings. Yeah. So. And it could, and the whole goal is to have people from everywhere. It doesn't have to be just our team, local, or you know what I mean. Like, anybody can come in. You have a crazy real estate story, give us. Are you a contractor? You have a crazy story? Let us know. So, and I think that would be a cool way to like. Cross promote, different businesses, and real estate kind of touches everything in the world. Like,
everybody needs a house. So
not just that, like even if you have a house, if you need a plumber or a roofer, like we have these connections already. Yeah. So it's a good point to always have an agent in the back of your hand, because it's like they know everybody that you could possibly need. They know someone for it. So it's good to kind of share that.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't realize that, if you need something in your house, call your buyer's agent or your listing agent. They know somebody already.
Don't give yourself more work. You guys are already working enough.
Yeah, but it's connecting our people, giving business to the people that we already trust, especially if it's contractors and stuff. There's a lot of shitty contractors out there.
Oh yeah, that's tough, especially like.
Well, there's a lot of like you can go online and like, oh, I need this done, blah blah blah, but you don't know if this person's gonna be good.
Yeah,
So
I have horror stories when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Especially when my parents, we first bought our house.
And it's
in the beginning,
everyone
it was
has
just
something crazy like that when it comes to like getting help.
Yeah.
But you have the resources if you already know an agent or sold it, if they were good, obviously.
Exactly.
But you know, we have the resources, so
Exactly. If you're looking to sell or buy a house,
yes,
please hit her up.
I'm here.
Tell her where they could reach you at.
My phone number, you can follow me on Instagram, sold by Kiki, KIKI. My number is 978-828-8110. I am no secret agent. You just Google me and I am there. I'm pretty much on all the platforms, so easy peasy. Sold by Kiki on everything.
Perfect. Alrighty, I think we had a good conversation.
Yes.
Good first time.
Absolutely.
We did it almost 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, it went by quick.
Wow.
So with that, we're gonna end it here. EDJ Studios.
Thank you so much.